Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. We are going to talk about one of Bryan Kohberger's students. A student of his is speaking out, Hayden Stinchfield. And I'm going to play to you what he shared about Bryan Kohberger, and then we will discuss. Check it out.
He was pretty strict as far as grading goes. When he came into class, he was very, not super mentally present. He would stand up at the front, look at the ground. He had a lot of like boilerplate responses he would give people rather than, maybe something he had thought up on the spot. It seemed like he would be, he'd come in knowing what he was going to say to like most interactions. And then when he would grade your papers, he would be grading you on what he ended up calling like a higher standard. But what it really felt like to us was he was grading us like he would have graded himself as a PhD student. And so that was just kind of like, we were all annoyed by him. And so I knew his name, I knew like, oh, T.A. Bryan, like he sucks at this. Like he's grading us too harshly. And that was like an annoyance. But obviously beyond that, we just thought he was a little weird and kind of, a bad grader. Yeah. We just, it would have been about a month before winter break when like the murders happened. And we didn't obviously build our framework for this around that because we had no reason to connect him to that, at the time. But definitely around then, he started grading everybody just hundreds. Not like you pretty much, if you turned something in, you were getting high marks. And he stopped leaving notes. It was just, he seemed preoccupied is what I would have said at the time. And now obviously he seems like he was probably pretty preoccupied. But it was much easier. You turn in whatever you wanted pretty much. And he was just grading them up and sending them back. Like, yeah, absolutely. He probably, that I saw, he was always a little bit spotty on whether or not he'd come to class because he had, whatever PhD stuff over the top of it. But the couple times that he did come after or around that time period, I remember him, he had like a little bit more facial hair, just like stubble, but definitely less like well kept than he was. And he was a little quieter. He used to stand up at the start of class and like talk about some stuff sometimes. And this time he didn't really do that at all. He was definitely, I think, like the previous like mental preoccupation that we had been noticing where it was like, he didn't really want to be there. That was at like an all-time high. And he just, didn't look like he was doing great.
Always good to hear from people affiliated with Bryan Kohberger. They can describe behaviors before the murders happened and after the murders happened. His behavior. November 13th, 2022, Bryan is charged now with murdering 4 college students, brutally stabbed on that day, Moscow, Idaho. Student Hayden there spoke out. What do you think? What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on Hayden speaking out? You think he was truthful, honest? I think he was genuine. That's my opinion. It's good that people are speaking out, providing insight about this guy, the mind of Bryan Kohberger. People want to know. He was in court today. Many other court cases to follow. What's going to happen? Is he going to go to trial? Is he going to fight the case? Is he going to plead guilty? Is he going to plead insanity? Remains to be seen. Stay tuned. I'll be posting more videos soon. Subscribe to my channel. Everyone be safe. God bless.